Alright guys, moving on to the next Patreon request, and this one comes from Brittany Digger, who asked me to do a crossover between Constantine, or Hellblazer, take your pick, and the Ghost and Molly Mcgee. As always, if you guys would like to send me requests for videos to do here on Patreon, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the third tier that will allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So the story begins with essentially what's been going on in the town. The town that Molly and her family reside in have been plagued by, shall we say, some, for lack of a better word, Final Destination level shenanigans. Shit has been people have been attacked. There have been people like thrown in the road. No one's been killed yet, but it is damn near getting close to someone. Someone might get hurt. And Molly is thinking, like, is it another ghost? Is it a new, like, is it a spirit Scratch? And Scratch is like, A, it's not a ghost. B, we're not getting involved with this. D, where are the tacos? So Molly's like, this has to be like some kind of ghost, right? Like, there's no way, you know, a normal person would do this, but what kind of ghost would do this? Maybe it's like, you know, maybe it's something evil. And he's like, of course it's something evil. But we're not going to go look for it. So the one thing, though, Molly has noticed with the ghosts, with this new spirit, is that it really likes to attack Libby and her mom. Like, it attacks Libby's family, their home. They get plagued the most. But while the spirit does kind of like terrorize other groups, it kind of targets Libby the most. So basically Molly's like, maybe it's some kind of evil spirit that doesn't like Jewish people or something. And Scratch is like, look, if we're gonna... look, I know there's nothing I can say at this point that's gonna convince you not to, you know, look into this, so I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands. I'm gonna have to call somebody. And they're like, call somebody? You mean like Ghostbusters or something? And Scratch is like, no. I gotta call in a favor to a guy I know. So Scratch heads out and looks for the person he needs to contact, and he finds him in England, and that person is of course John Constantine. And Constantine is just kind of like chilling in a supernatural bar, you know, playing cards against a group of demons, and he basically cheats his way to winning. And that's when Scratch comes flying in, and he's like, "Ah, Johnny boy, how you been, man?" And he's like, "Scratch, I told you if I ever saw you again, I'd send you straight to the ninth circle of hell to be ass raped by Satan for all eternity." And he's like, "Jesus Christ, John, I just took like $2 from you." And John is like, "It wasn't $2, it was $200 that you stole from me out of my back pocket." And he's like, $2, 200, whatever. Anyway, you owe me a favor. And he's like, what favor is that? The one what favor are you talking about? And Scratch is like, you know, about that time in Jacksonville, Florida. And he's like, I told you never to talk about Jacksonville. And he's like, well, I'm calling in a favor. I'm calling in a favor, you Sid Vicious ripoff. I need your help, because there's where I'm staying, there's some kind of dark spirit, so I need a good old quality exorcism to deal with this dark spirit. So Constantine's like, I do this and I never see your face again, and Scratch's like, I know, sent to hell, get butt raped by the devil for all eternity. I get it. Let's go. So Scratch comes back with Constantine. And the moment he's brought to the town, Constantine meets Molly, and Molly's like, "Hi, you smell like vomit." And Constantine's like, "Yeah, I get that a lot." And Scratch's like, "This is John Constantine. This is the #1 exorcist in the world." And he's like, "So he's a priest?" And Constantine's like, "Oh, I am no priest. I am the thing priests. I am the guy the priest warns you about." And also, when he's trying to light a cigarette, Molly's mom slaps it out of his hands like, hey, we're a non-smoking family. And he goes, yes, ma'am. But then he just walks outside and smokes anyway. So Molly explains to John, like, what is the problem? Like, what exactly is going on and what the situation is. And she's explaining, he's like, hold on. This Libby friend of yours, you said she's Jewish? And they're like, yeah. Alright, I figured this out. So John goes to Libby's family's store. They go there, and John is like talking to Libby's mom and is like, I heard you got a bit of a haunting problem. And he's like, I know what this is, and it ain't pretty. Do you guys know? He's like, it's a Dybbuk. And they're like, Dybbuk? And that's when Libby's mom's like, oh my god. Dybbuks are dark spirits that were in Hebrew legend, and they are dark spirits that are like poltergeists. They torment people. And John's like, yeah, right on the money there, love. If you've got a Dybbuk here, it's not, it's not going to stop until everyone is dead. And judging by how you guys have overlooked this whole, overlooked and tried to, play it off as some kind of fucking game, this Dybbuk has gotten pretty strong. Fortunately, this is my first time dealing with, a racist spirit. So, basically, John casts a spell to, let everyone see the Dybbuk. And the Dybbuk is, looking at them all, twisted and gnarled and just kind of snarling in the shadows. And John is just like, oh, hello, beastie. He just lights a cigarette, and he's like, been a while since I've encountered one of your kind. And then he's like, John Constantine. And he's like, yep, everybody knows me, I get it. So John is like, all right, I need a little time to get this spell together. Can you guys hold him for a couple minutes? And they're like, hold him? He's like, yeah, it's fine. So Molly, Libby, and Scratch are running around trying to contain the spirit while John is setting up his exorcist spell. When they finally do, the Dybbuk is just shouting all these horrible sentences and sayings left and right. But eventually, John manages to get the spell right and dispel the Dybbuk. And so the Dybbuk is gone, this dark spirit is gone, and they're like, well, how did it even get here in the first place? And John's like, you guys got any weird voodoo? Voodoo, I mean some old antiques? And they're like, yeah, our great-great-grandmother had this box here, this jewelry box, and he's like, did one of you open it? And they're like, yeah, we just wanted to see what was inside. And he's like, these Dybbuk boxes are meant to contain dark spirits. You let it out, and it wanted to do the one thing it was known for, causing chaos. So maybe next time, not screw around with old jewelry boxes, huh? And they're like, oh, hooray! And Molly tries to hug John, and John's like, no, I'm not a hugger. And they're like, will you at least stay for dinner, Mr. Constantine? We could, we make really good we make really good, we have a really good steak dinner night. And they're like, and John's like, I could do steak. So there you go. There is the Molly Mcgee, Hellblazer Ghost and Molly Mcgee crossover. I want to thank Brittany for this Patreon request and continued patronage. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.